Reactive Training Systems.
Welcome back to the RTS podcast. I'm Mike Tushir, and today Coach Mel and I will be talking with Kasemsand Senumong. Kasemsand, or as we call him, Opor, is the current 66 kilo world champion. And at the time of this recording, we are deep in prep, almost completed with prep for Sheffield. In fact, we're about 2 weeks and a little bit, 2 weeks and a couple days out from the Sheffield Championship. So we're very much looking forward to that. And we thought this would be a great time to sit down, catch up with Opor, talk about how training is, talk about how his approach is decidedly different from a lot of other people in powerlifting right now, but also talk about Sheffield, how he's thinking about this experience in his own mind. How does the difficulty of competition affect or not affect him, and quite a bit more. So this is a really fun one for us. It's always fun to catch up with Opor. He's really chill and fun to hang out with and talk with, as you'll soon hear. So without any further delay, I want to get right into our conversation.
I actually want to know, Opor, I know this is but because it's not listed here, is basically you had a friend say, hey, you should try powerlifting. And you were like, okay. And then you found Mike Tushir. And I actually want to know how that happened, because you think you only started lifting since 2017, powerlifting?
Yeah, I start to know like RTS since I went to Peter seminar or something. And then like he talked about the RTS too, and also the strategy. And then I find out, that's interesting. And I'm watch all like, actually, I think I watch all the videos in the RTS YouTube. It doesn't, yeah, back in the day, it's not like proper videos. It's just my talking. And then it's something not really interested in policing. I think they will pass it.
Yeah, 100%. It's not, the YouTube infotainment production value. Like you're there because you actually want to hear something powerlifting related.
Yeah, because you just like film yourself and then just talk a bunch of stuff about the polish, and just no editing, just upload it straight away. Yes, but
I gotta say, like, if I ever go back to YouTube, that's gonna be how it is.
yeah,
That's kind of cool. It's like, production value aside, you're here because you want to learn. And here is some information. And if you're going to be present and want the information, you're going to be with me on this journey of me just telling you it without a transition or flashy graphics.
Yeah. But actually, it's pretty useful because he answered like a lot of my questions, because that's a lot of videos. Yes.
But then you did it yourself for a long time, right? Like you were self-coached for a long time, and you were competing at a high level, just being a self-coached athlete.
Yes, because I cannot afford the coaching fees.
Yeah. No, I get that, and I also think that self-coaching is kind of cool in some ways. So
yeah, but what can you do is much better,
definitely.
I think.
I'm here, so you kind of have to say that. You came into our coaching arrangement with a lot of, prior knowledge and experience from, what you had seen yourself. So we were able to pretty much hit the ground running. Some people ends up being kind of a lengthy experimenting stage in the beginning. But in your case, it wasn't really. In your case, you kind of got derailed a couple times with just what seems like bad luck, whether it be food poisoning or something like that, and I mean, what can you do about that? Like, sometimes this stuff happens, and if it happens on the wrong week,
Yeah,
if you're prep for the world championship or something, then
it's just weird because of the last whole year. Yeah, it's happened many times. Like in my life, I never have like faced that kind of situation. I have like a lot of food poisoning, and then
I was going to say, I've been seeing your Instagram. It's like, oh, Opor has food poisoning.
yeah. So like it's weird. Just only like last year. Like usually I'm not like my stomach like really strong. I can eat a lot of like yeah fermented beef and maybe fridge and fine. But yeah, right now it's like getting weaker. Maybe I'm older. Yeah.
Classic one. But then last year at the World Championship, your streak of bad luck ran out, and you're able to come into that competition prepared in a way that is more on the level of what you have been expecting for quite some
hmm
time. And I mean, to kind of remind everybody how that went, the 66 kilo class ended up with a three-way tie for podium. Everyone, top three placements totaled 707.5 kilos, and the final placement was determined by body weight. And even then, like I forget what exactly Joe Jordan totaled, but he came in fourth place, and he was not
I
far off
think
of that either.
697.5 because my second deadlift is
That
was
sounds right.
695.
I do recall that you were in a position where if you made your third pull, then you were a gold medalist, first place.
Oh no,
If you
podium.
missed your third pull, then you're off the podium entirely. So a lot of pressure going into that third pull. What is that like? We haven't really. I mean, it's been quite a while ago now, but we haven't really had a chance to do a podcast or this kind of thing. So, what was it like for you as you approached the bar on that third
Not to
deadlift?
mention the lead up. You had missed your first one for
Yeah.
grip and had to retake the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a baby powder because I grip in the like in between, not on the nailing, on the sharp nailing. And then like if someone pull conventional before, so it's my have some baby powders and it just slip out of my hand. But I think it's still fine. So yeah, but I need to retake it anyways. Like yeah, to be sure. Yeah, but at that time I actually I'm not thinking about anything. I just like ask Peter, just like put the number whatever that like yeah, just enough to win. That's it. So like I actually after my second deadlift, I told him that yeah, I'm gonna do like 30 308 because I feel like I can do 308 and like yeah, and then I'm gonna do 308 and but Peter said like okay, just sit down and then I'll make a calculation and then okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And then whatever is needed is the right weight for the day. But, so this highlights something for me in just kind of knowing you and listening to you on other interviews and whatnot. You have like such a laid back style. Um, you you take the sport seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously. Like you're not like some of the other champions will be very what's the word I'm looking for? Almost melodramatic. They serious. So they take themselves very seriously and have a certain lens through which they view their competition and things like that. I find that you try to keep things light. Do you do that intentionally? That's just a personality difference that you've got. Does that how do you do that? How do you manage that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just my personality. Yes, my personal. So yes, yeah, I cannot be anyone. Yeah.
No, I mean fair enough. I mean sometimes it's just that simple, but I think it's good one way or another. Like I think it's good to kind of still see yourself as a person, like trying to do well at this sport and progress as far as you can, but also, you know, hey, you're a person and sometimes things break your way, sometimes they don't. And, it can't always be, I don't know, an action movie,
Yeah.
I think it's also just cool to see that you take so much joy in the sport. And lifting is fun. The crew that you lift with is fun. the environment you lived in is fun. All of it. Like powerlifting is a hobby sport. We do this because we enjoy it, because it brings us gratitude and joy, and we get to better ourselves. And I think that looking at different lifters and their attitude towards that, it seems like there's a wide spectrum of it. The most serious thing, or it's the thing that I do because I love it.
Yeah, I think it came from my experience because in 2022, I think after I hit the world record at Asian Championship, I feel like that's too much pressure, and I'm not really enjoy powerlifting that much as I used to, like, yeah, when I started. And yes, and then this year I realized that oh yeah, just enjoy and have fun. And then yeah, I talk to myself that yeah, I enjoy to do this a lot. Why I am too stressed about it?
That's a good point, that you had seen that success and that has an opportunity to shift your mindset. Does preparation for a competition like Sheffield, like it's such a high visibility competition. Do you feel any of that as you're training and getting ready for it?
Actually, quite similar to the World Championship. Not really push. Like I mean, my mentally, I just like feel like okay, I'm sometimes quite chill in my training. Yeah, I still have fun during my train my prep, like wearing funny stuff. Or yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that as well, Mel. That's something that I've seen, just from watching your training, and especially like the stuff that gets put up on IG. It looks like it's just a fun place to train, a fun group of people to train with. And that counts for a lot. I mean, you spend a lot of time doing
yeah,
this, so it may as well be
yeah,
fun.
right.
There was a sport coach that I listened to years ago who was talking about, preparing for sports, and that, it takes a lot of work to reach the highest levels of anything, really. You've got to put in a lot of time, and at some point it just becomes work, And he was kind of emphasizing the importance of fun. And he said, think about like a little kid,
Mhm.
and how little kids will go out and run and play and just be all over the place, super active while they're having fun. But if you make it work, like, hey, I need you to pick up all this wood and then move it over to this other place, it's just work, then they drag their feet and they're sad and they don't, it takes forever. Clean up the toys in your room, we have no energy for this, And I thought, man, that struck me as really true. And like, why would it be different for adults, other than you just have a little bit more self-control, but the impulse is still the
Mhm.
same, How much better would it be if it was just
Yeah.
fun to do? So definitely a proponent of fun and training.
Are in that environment, are you the only one that trains powerlifting specifically, or do you have a crew of powerlifters that
In the gym that I went to, there's that it's like the whole association is there. I mean, yeah, like people like yeah, we do have not only powerlifting, we also have Olympic weightlifting, high rocks, and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. But like people all together to train powerlifting, which is yeah, nice.
and it's really cool. First world champion from Thailand, and you have kind of that crew to hype you up as being the first world champion from Thailand.
Actually, like they just make fun of me.
Well, that's a good crew. Have you noticed, has that changed anything in Thailand? Like, has powerlifting become any different or anything now
Mm,
that,
I,
there's a
I think
world champion from there?
yeah, I think it's growing because I saw a lot of new face and like especially the younger generations, they start to yeah do powerlifting since maybe like some of them like 14, 15, and then yeah they some of them like take it so serious like seriously. Yeah, yeah, they think like they will go like become world champions. So like some kind of like that. And yeah, which is nice to see like kids doing powerlifting because
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
the future anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, go nuts while you can, but then once it starts to wear off, then you got to find a group of people that's fun to train with. Mel, you're really good at that as well, by the way. Me, I'm the one that trains alone in my garage, so
You have the cat. The cat could be your friend.
my kids come out and yell strange things at me while I'm lifting.
You know,
So
I had someone quote the potato phrase to me at the community center. They saw the RTS shirt, pointed it, and said, "Potato."
it's a potato. Yeah, it's a potato. Yeah, I need to resurrect that video. Yeah, that was fun.
But have they, since you're preparing for Sheffield, has like the crew changed their attitude? Or are they still making fun of you right up until the date you're going to fly out?
I think they try to make me safe because they usually no one will take care of me like seriously. Usually like we play many of stuff like a part of the powerlifting. Yeah, and then we like a kid sometimes do the silly stuff together, and that sometimes make it make ourselves injured.
But it was
But
fun.
Yeah.
but right now they said like some of them said like try to not like make me injured.
So you have a bunch of friends who are kind of like moms right now.
Yeah. Even right now, like usually I'm drink like quite heavy, but right now I'm stopped drinking like for 4 months, and yeah, they're not try to convince me to drink at all, which is nice.
Save it all up for when you get back. So we travel in less than 2 weeks
Yeah.
now. So what are you excited about? Have you given it? Has it like been brewing in your mind at all? Like this competition?
Actually, it's different from World Championship because I am before Worlds I'm not expect to be in the Sheffield, but yes, like because I on my head back in the day I was thinking about it. I just need to win World. I don't know, but this is different. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like enjoy. Yeah, not stressed at all.
Yeah.
But excited.
It's I mean, there's a big competition, lots of production, and lots of very talented lifters all in the same place. So there's a lot to pay attention to, a lot to be excited about, even just from the powerlifting side of it. So,
But I think like since at Worlds I once I realized that I just need to be like don't need to be stressed out too much about the competition. Yeah, just do whatever you can do and enjoy.
yeah,
That's also a good, training's going to be training, but your perception of training can influence how much you enjoy it. Like, if you didn't have Sheffield, you'd probably be training the same way, having fun. And
Right.
if you were to enter in your training sessions being stressed that these training sessions now really, really matter, is that perception helpful? And to a point, it probably is, but then you get to the threshold where you're stressing about doing the work that you're supposed to enjoy. All of a sudden, the training kind of shifts a bit. I think the attitude you have is really good.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All good.
yeah. I've noticed similar thing myself and with other lifters as well. Sometimes, whether it's an injury or something happens, we have lifters who show up to a competition basically with no expectations, just showing up, just happy to be there. And they go through the competition, often are surprised by how good their performance is, and their performance is on par, sometimes exceeds whatever expectations we would have had if, circumstances had been different. And they have a lot more fun doing it. And I mean, it's not for everybody, and I know that personalities are different and whatnot, but it's definitely caused me to think a lot about the pressure that we put on ourselves prior to competing. And everybody does this, right? Whether it's at a high level competition or a local competition, put all this pressure on it. But does that make it any better? Does it make your performance any better? I'm not so sure that it does. Does it make the experience more enjoyable? I think for most people, it probably doesn't. So I don't know. I guess I'm a fan of the mindset that you've got and that you're describing here.
In regards to, because I know you start off self-coached, Opor, when you did you handle yourself during meets? Were you the one responsible for picking your attempts and your totals and your selections?
Yeah, actually, yeah. When I'm competing, like domestically, yeah, I do everything myself. So I list and then carry all I put the attempt card in my shirt and then write down myself.
Yeah,
Even yeah, sometime I have like my friend to handle. I just handle them and I just do my own warm ups and then just straight to the platform.
With the scoring system in Sheffield, where it's points, that would make attempt selection a little bit more complex to do it yourself, I would think, as you're trying to manage getting ahead of people and also paying attention to what they're doing instead of just focusing on yourself.
I
Would you
think
handle yourself if you had to? If Mike's playing gets
no, for Sheffield, I don't think I can do that because maybe I can, but I just like go go. I don't need to look at the other. I just put number. I would like to. That's it. Because
it's been interesting for sure. Like I talked to several coaches who've got more Sheffield experience than I do about like how they manage attempt selections, and you definitely see a range. Like some people have like really gone on all out in terms of building these calculators and things like that to help them understand the scoring situation. And then other people are just more like, you know what, we're going to total the most we can total, and that's going to be what it is, So it's interesting to see the different coaching approaches.
Mhm.
what do you think is going to be your approach?
Peter will calculate all the time. He already made some like a spreadsheet about the percentage of each grade class and stuff like that. Interesting.
Cool. Yep. Peter's been getting a head start on some of the scouting. And since Peter is the one who's often doing like the in-competition handling for Opor, we're going to keep that going. No sense in rocking that boat. So we'll do that. And, I'm going to build some things myself because, how could I not? I think having some information, just better situational awareness will help, nail down those attempt selections as close as they can be, but all that will be happening behind the scenes. Oprah won't have to worry about any of it.
I want to highlight how funny it is that, we're powerlifters, we lift weights, we're kind of meatheads, but man, do we love Excel spreadsheets. Let me build a sheet about that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, have you seen the calculations I have on this lifter? Isn't this a great Excel spreadsheet? Most coaches will have that conversation.
Speaking of the scoring system, I know that recently Kyoto put up a total that shakes things up a bit for our weight class. That happens. So in terms of like just the raw scoring side of things, we roll with those punches. But how did that affect you at all in terms of your training, in terms of mindset? Did you have any reaction to it at all, or was just like, oh, good for him?
Yeah, I think it's good for him because I saw a lot of
Cool.
like his scenario on the platforms, and I don't know, I'm glad that he make it. Yeah, honestly, but I was it fired me up a little bit. But anyways, I haven't set my goal like yeah my big picture. So yeah. Anyways, I would just follow my pace.
Yeah. Yeah. it's interesting. I was listening to a video that another lifter was talking about their competition prep, and they were talking about how like every day in training, they were thinking about their competitor and some of the things that had been said, and so every day they're thinking about that and trying to beat the other person. And on one end, that sounds, it has a certain appeal, like the sound of it has a certain appeal. But then the lifter that's been doing this for 30 years still pops up in my head and says, like, whenever I've tried that, I've ended up making some dumb decisions in training, and it usually sends things off the rails. So I know for me, I'm better off to just kind of focus on taking what's there, trying hard, of course, and being focused, of course, but not leaning into it too much. That there's definitely a point where it can go too far, and once it's kind of negatively affecting decision making, then things have a tendency to go a little sideways.
And reframing that to be, my competitors are taking their training seriously. That would be, rather than my competitors are doing this weight in the bar, therefore I need to do that weight in the bar as well.
Yeah.
But I like the attitude that you have, Opor. It reminds me of a quote of, when you get into something that you love that's kind of has a competitive basis, remembering that these are your comrades, these are the people that have been going through the same fights as you and have the same struggles and ups and downs and injuries, and they're your competition, but they're also your inspiration.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Does that apply to the Shell Backhand as well?
Actually, I messaged with him a lot because he keeps
Yeah.
many stuff to me. But actually, yeah, he's like, I'm really respect him in like, because he works so hard. I mean, like, maybe like I would say like more than me, like in terms of like cutting weight or stuff like that. Yeah, I saw these people
Yeah, it's a
walking
heck
every
of a
day
weight
with
cut that he's
the
pulling off.
harness. I don't know, with the weight and carry it every night.
That's Dragon Ball Z style.
That's crazy. Even right now, I think it's it's snow in Norway, right? Yeah, it's snowing, and he still keep walking. That's crazy. Yeah, if it's snow, I don't
Yeah.
think I will walk. I will just like have a blanket and then okay.
Based on what you previously said, your gym crew would show up at your house, kick you out the door, and say you need to get your minimum steps in.
Maybe not, because I don't know what it's about.
If there's snow in Thailand, then maybe nobody goes out.
Yeah, because I'm a bit concerned about the weather in UK as well. Because I think I never faced that kind of cold, but yeah, I prepare. I think I prepare enough cold. Yeah, we see.
I'll bring you an extra blanket.
I think I have a 4 layer prepared already. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good. No, that's cool to hear that you two like have an open dialogue. I think that's good. I always like to hear, among competitors. It's definitely better to be that way than the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a fight in that 66 class.
Yeah. Yeah, and now with Pana there as well. Although, I suppose with the scoring system being what it is, like I know that it does affect things somewhat, in being in the same weight class makes the scoring system more straightforward, right? But it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to see kind of a partial rematch, but then, also having Shell in the mix will definitely liven things up.
Yeah, but I think
As if it
I would be
needed,
the
as
lightest.
if it needed more livening.
I think I would be the lightest lifter.
You're
Yeah,
not
well,
allowed to get food poisoning until after Sheffield.
Actually, I still didn't tell. I think I told you right last 2 days ago. I told up. but it's good now. Yeah, it's good now. But I I would say like I never be at this range like of body weight before the competition. So I'm really excited about it because I usually, yeah, if I do some cut, I would go down like 2 or 3 kilos easy. But right now I'm quite close to the weight. But usually I would be above like I usually be like 67.5 to 68. But right now I'm like 6 we'll see. We'll see that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like in my experience, your final blocks have always gone a bit better when you're closer to
Yeah,
weight.
that's weird.
So I know that lots of people in this range like to do bigger weight cuts and things like that, and final week of competition preps. We've dabbled with some of that, but whenever you've kind of come in more or less on target, things have just gone better. So I take all that to be good signs.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because I think when I'm lighter, I feel stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've
So yes,
I've noticed this. So it's like, well, do we bulk up or maybe we just
yeah,
stay light?
because every time I woke up, I feel like not comfortable with my belt, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But sometimes if I lose
yeah.
too much weight, I'm also have the same problems because it's too loose. Yeah, but right now I have a solution. I have food before training, so it's feel my belt better.
I'm enjoying your training log notes where you talk about that. Forgot to eat during training today. Couldn't get my in session carbohydrates today, and the notable effects that'll have on a training session.
Hmm.
Um, it's interesting because for a lot of people, they forget that, and it's like a comfort thing almost. It's not just a comfort thing for you. It's definitely performance nutrition.
Yeah, just weird. Usually, like if I'm not having food and train, I feel good. But when I have food and train, I feel really bad. Yeah,
Are
but
you going
but
to be,
hmm?
sorry, are you going to be bringing food to the UK just to keep things a little
Yeah,
steady?
yeah. I think I would bring my own food. I don't want to have food poisoning before the competition. Yeah, better to like be safe.
Yeah. If there's a competition time to be safe, this would be it.
Yeah, and also like I don't know what kind of food in UK. Maybe bread, spread with jam, stuff like that. I don't know.
It's the rule of thumb I like to use is they don't have restaurants, then
Mm.
tend not to think very highly of it. Like places will have Italian restaurants or Greek restaurants or things like that. So, it's probably plenty of things to try, interesting things, Indian food or Ethiopian or whatever. But not many places have like an English restaurant or come here for Welsh food or
Uh,
Russian food, things like that. I mean, occasionally, but not widespread.
I think there's a few places that have like the Sunday roast deal. Mostly bars.
Okay.
Mostly bars.
Okay.
But I actually had a question I wanted to ask the two of you on training and how, because you're talking about notes back and forth. What has been the training communication and training style leading up to this competition?
actually, like yeah, I'm quite happy with the style because I'm not really I like just texting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'll like just wrap up sometime. Yeah, not don't need to do like more often.
yeah. So we keep it pretty informal. The training gets delivered via the RTS website, just like everyone else, and Opor keeps up with his logging there. But in terms of videos and communication, we just text that and keep the check-in process pretty informal. We make sure that we're touching base, once a week or so, and then more often as needed. So definitely an open door anytime you want to send something. Like you don't have to wait for check-in day or anything like that. But if nothing's coming up and we just haven't said anything in a while, then, we'll try to touch base. But yeah, as needed kind of has been operating wisdom, and that's worked out well.
Probably works well with someone who was self-coached previously, because I imagine that you know your training and have a lot of autonomy.
I do tend to like the as needed style, but it just so happens that with Opor, as needed is most of the time things are going well and
Yeah.
not needed super often, but other people as needed means more or less every training session, and hey, that's fine if that's what you need, but it's important that the athlete gets what they need, in whichever situation they have to be in. Right. Opor, I know it's getting pretty late there, so I appreciate you hanging out and kind of making this work time-wise for
It's fine because
everything.
it's still 1:30. Yeah, 1:30 here.
In
So
the
I'm
morning?
I guess
no, yeah,
Yeah.
1:30 a.m.
Oh.
But I'm
See, I guess I lose coaching points because it's like I'm disrupting your sleep,
No,
right?
no.
So,
I'm usually sleep like 2 a.m. anyways because I'm playing
Yeah.
some video games. But tomorrow
Gotta live life,
I
right?
don't need to wake up too early, so I can sleep until 10. Like
There you go.
yes.
There you go. Still getting me hours. Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time and joining in with us. Thanks, Mel. I appreciate you being here. And thanks everybody else for watching and listening, and see everyone next time. Hey, let me tell you something that I know about you. Your lifting is important to you. It's probably one of your biggest priorities. And for people like us, nothing compares to the feeling that you get when you set a new PR. That feeling of being the best that you've ever been, of doing something that you've never done before. This is what we're all after, and it's also what RTS specializes in. Getting you the absolute best program possible so that you can hit new PRs and reach your goals. We call it radically individualized training, and we're really good at it. Whether we need to account for busy schedules or equipment limitations, or precisely turn the dials and get the details of the program just right, we have the tools and the experience to guide your lifting to the next level. To us, coaching is all about leadership, relationship, and creative problem solving. A coach should be poised to help you make tough decisions about training and competing so that you can continually grow in your development. And of course, a coach should be a first-rate problem solver, especially when it comes to your training, technique, and strategy. Now, all this has to be built off of a really strong, professional coaching relationship that emphasizes trust and respect. Additionally, RTS coaches are not on an island. We have a strong network of professionals to reach out to, so if you find yourself in need of some specific expertise, say in the realm of nutrition or injury management or sports psychology, there's a deep expertise available there too. For more information, go to store.reactivetrainingsystems.com and click on coaching. That's store.reactivetrainingsystems.com, then click on coaching. Hope to see you on the team soon.